A flight attendant told me to give up my first-class seat because they were overbooked. I had a confirmed ticket, paid in full, and I was already buckled in. She wasn't solving an airline problem. She was trying to hand my seat to her boyfriend. I was in seat 2A, the first-class window I'd booked 3 weeks earlier for $2,147. Jennifer stood over me with that fake sweet smile. Airlines train into people. Sir, you need to gather your belongings. You'll be taking a later flight. I pulled up my email and held my phone under her nose. Boarding pass, confirmation number, receipt, everything said 2A. I'm confirmed, I said. So why am I the one getting bumped? Seat 2B next to me was still empty, so none of it made sense. The cabin went quiet, and Jennifer dropped the apology act. Sir, you need to deplane now. I want your supervisor, I said. She told me that won't be necessary, then leaned in closer like a threat. If you don't comply, I'll call security and have you removed. Then call security, I said, and leaned back. I'd spent 15 years in commercial aviation litigation, and passenger rights were my lane. I stayed calm because I knew the rules, and I knew she was bluffing. 2 minutes later, an in-flight supervisor named Sandra walked up with a tablet. Sir, may I see your ticket? I handed her my phone and watched her eyes narrow as she read. She scanned it twice, slower the second time. This is a confirmed booking, she said. Jennifer tried to cut in about overbooking, like she was reading a script. First class isn't overbooked. I checked the manifest, Sandra said. I asked to see the passenger manifest, and Sandra didn't hesitate. Then Sandra's eyes froze on one name on her tablet. Next, her mouth tightened like she'd swallowed a nail. After that, she looked at Jennifer and didn't blink. Then she said, "Galley." Now, loud enough for everyone. Next, Jennifer started stammering. Hands up, acting innocent. After that, Sandra scrolled once more and walked back alone. Sandra returned to my row, calm on the outside, furious underneath. There is no overbooking. Please remain seated, she said. I pressed her until she finally cracked and told the truth. She manually added a standby passenger, her boyfriend, Sandra admitted. The whispers hit instantly, sharp and nasty, because everyone understood what that meant. Jennifer reappeared with blotchy cheeks and zero eye contact. Jennifer, you need to deplane, Sandra said. Jennifer tried to protest, and Sandra laid it out for the whole cabin to hear. You violated policy and federal regulations, Sandra snapped. Jennifer whispered, I'll lose my job. Sandra didn't flinch. You should have thought of that before you committed fraud. Jennifer grabbed her jacket with shaking hands and walked off the plane while the whole cabin watched. Sandra apologized, comped my drinks, and promised an incident report I could request. The rest of the flight felt weirdly silent. At O'Hare, Sandra met me at the gate with the station manager, Robert Vega, holding a tablet like it was a crime report. He apologized and offered a full refund of my ticket price, plus $5,000 in travel vouchers and 2 years of top-tier status. What happened to Jennifer? I asked. Terminated, effective immediately, he said, and told me security had already escorted her out. He added that her boyfriend lost his standby privileges, and I signed paperwork, confirming the compensation with no waiver attached. 3 days later, I filed a formal complaint with the Department of Transportation anyway. Airlines count on passengers being too tired or confused to report things like this. The complaint triggered an investigation, and they found multiple violations and weak controls that let her mess with the manifest. The airline was fined $50,000 and forced to add new safeguards. It wasn't just one bad employee. The system had holes, and they finally patched them. A month later, I got a handwritten letter from Jennifer, admitting everything and saying she'd ruined her own career. She wrote that her boyfriend dumped her and that no airline would hire her now. I read it twice, then filed it away without replying. 6 months after that, another flight attendant recognized my name and thanked me under her breath. She said Jennifer had been pulling small stunts for months, and nobody could prove it until that day. 6 months later, I boarded another flight and sat in 2A again. No drama, no threats, just a normal crew doing their jobs. But I still remembered Jennifer's fake smile and that security bluff, and I remembered Sandra's tablet freezing on that one name. So if a crew member ever tries to overbook you out of a confirmed seat, what would you do?